In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the vehicle speed sensor on this Ford F-350 with the 6R140 transmission. This is also known as the transmission output speed sensor. If you have a different transmission, this will not be the speed sensor for you. This is located inside the transmission, so we'll have to drop the pan for it. Make sure you have plenty of transmission fluid on hand to fill this back up. This vehicle takes Mercon LV. Let's get started. Before we drop this transmission pan, you want to make sure you have plenty of fluid on hand to fill it back up. If you have an early production model truck, you'll need 8.5 quarts of transmission fluid. If you have a late production truck, you'll need 10 quarts of transmission fluid. So it's about 1.5 quarts difference between the two. And with that said, let's start draining the fluid. You'll find your transmission pan located in the center of your truck, right between the two catalytic converters. This right here is going to be the drain plug. Have a collection bucket underneath, use a 13mm socket, and break this free. With that collection bucket centered up, carefully remove the drain plug and let this drain. Because we're removing the pan and cleaning it all out anyway, I'm going to call this done. So I'm going to plug it back up, snug it, at most 1/8 of a turn after it bottoms out is all you need. You just want to squish the rubber a little bit. So now let's take off the pan. For this you'll need an 8mm socket and an extension so you can reach all the hardware. Just go around in a circle, take them all out. Once you remove enough bolts, it's going to start draining and breaking free from the gasket, so have that collection bucket ready. As you can see at the rear, it's starting to drain. This one that's on top of the exhaust pipe, it's useful if you just have a ratchet that fits in here, so you can break it free and remove it. Now this is my last one. I did put one back into the front so that the pan can tilt back as it comes off. All right, that one's off. I'm going to pull the front one back out and slowly and carefully remove the transmission pan. All right, let it drain. There's still quite a bit of fluid in it. This gasket is reusable, so if you don't have a new one, that's okay. You can clean it up and put it back on. Here is the sensor we're after. It's bolted on. Let's unplug it first. So grab the wire and pull it out from wherever it's stuck. So press on this tab and unplug it. With the help of a T30 Torx bit, remove the mounting bolt. And remove the sensor. Take the new sensor, slide it into position, and thread it on. That's bottomed out, tiny bit extra. That's it, not even 1/8 of a turn. You just want this to be locked in place. Route the wire exactly where the old wire was, and let's plug it in. Make sure that clicks. Now let's get the transmission ready for the pan. Around the edges of this transmission where the gasket goes, I'm going to take a gasket scraper and scrape off any corrosion and debris that might be in the way so that the gasket can seal back up properly. If you don't have a gasket scraper, you can use a razor blade. With a rag, wipe down the whole surface. And now let's go get the gasket and the pan. Once you know you're ready to put this back on, take your gasket, lay it over the transmission pan, in the correct orientation of course, and line this up. Have some bolts ready to start them in. Now, the advantage here, if you're reusing this original gasket or if you're installing a new original type gasket, you don't have to clean this surface with brake parts cleaner. It just has to be wiped down. Some transmission fluid on there isn't going to make a difference. It's not like we're putting RTV on it. I'm going to line up 4 bolts, 1 on each side. so everything can stay seated and centered. It's important that the gasket doesn't move around on you, so double check it. But once you put in 2, it should be good. I'm going to snug these 4 up, and then we'll put the rest in. Okay, remember I'm not tightening these, I'm just getting the pan to sit up against the transmission. Let's put the rest of our bolts in. I'm now going to go around and snug them all by hand, and then we'll torque them. Torque all of these bolts to 80 inch-pounds. I'm going to go over them twice, that way I make sure everything is seated and tightened down to spec. The one that's right above the exhaust I can't torque, so I'm just going to put a ratchet with a socket on it and just do the best I can to tighten it. Just by feel. Kind of going to make it similar to all the other ones. All right, I got all of it torqued down. I will go around one more time. I'm not going to show that. At this point, let's move on to filling it up. Now under the hood, on the passenger side, right near the battery, you have your transmission fluid dipstick. This is where we're going to fill the transmission from, so remove the dipstick, put in a funnel, and add either 8.5 or 10 quarts of transmission fluid. Now what you also could do is measure how much came out. If you drained it in a separate container that didn't already have fluid in it, that would tell you how much to put in, assuming the level was good. Now no matter what, you still want to check the level, and I'll tell you exactly how to properly check it. But for now, let's put in our Mercon LV, which stands for low viscosity, transmission fluid in this transmission. Okay, I got my transmission fluid. Here we go. Let's fill it up. I've put 8 quarts in so far. I'm going to put the last half a quart in. My transmission, being an early model, is going to only take 8.5 quarts. There we go, that's 8.5 quarts. Even if yours takes 10 instead of 8.5 and you are not sure, that's okay, because just 1.5 quarts isn't going to make this transmission not function. So you can still turn on the truck, warm it up, run it through the gears, and then check it. It's just going to read low on the dipstick. Having said that, let's do exactly that. So remove the funnel, put the dipstick back in. Now we'll turn on the engine, let it run. If you can, drive it down the street to make sure it goes through all the gears, including reverse, then pull it up on a flat level surface with it in park, still running, and preferably hot or at operating temperature. Then you can measure the level on the dipstick. And once you've done that, you can pull the dipstick back out, wipe it off, because the first reading, as you pull it out, is not going to be accurate. The whole dipstick will be covered in transmission fluid. Then we're going to stick it back down all the way, and then pull it back out. And here's what we can see. We can see some hash marks right here. Our fluid is actually perfectly at the top, which is great. 8.5 quarts did the job for me. Now, I was actually holding this upside down, so if you turn it around, you'll see that this is the hot range. This is going to be your cold range. I'm at the top of the hot range, which is perfect. The transmission's hot. It ran through all the gears. It is back here. I know it's off for me, but I had to shut it off, otherwise it'd be pretty noisy. So at this point, I'm good to go. If you need to add some, add about 1/4 to 1/2 quart at a time until it's full. And if you have too much, you actually want to drain some, because too much fluid is not good either. So let's put this back, and there you have it. Job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.